In many families, nobody officially gives us a role, and yet somehow we find ourselves playing one. One child becomes the responsible one, another becomes the peacemaker, someone becomes the achiever, someone else becomes the rebellious one. And then there is the quiet one, the person who learns to observe, to adapt, and not create too much trouble. Nobody says, "This is who you are going to be." These roles develop gradually through relationships, expectations, and circumstances. And here's the interesting part. Sometimes we leave the family home, but we don't leave the role. Mhm. We carry it into our friendships, we carry it into our relationships, and even our workplaces. Think about the child who becomes known as the responsible one. Perhaps they learned very early to cope. They didn't create problems. They helped others. They performed well. People may have even said, "We never have to worry about you." It sounds like a compliment, but perhaps the child also learned something. My role is to be strong. Years later, everyone still depends on them. They are the person family members call during a crisis. They are reliable at work. They carry responsibility in their relationships. But sometimes, very few people ask who supports you when you are struggling. Or consider the peacemaker. Perhaps they grew up learning that conflict was uncomfortable or even threatening. So they became good at calming situations. They learned to accommodate, to compromise, to keep everyone happy. That may become a wonderful strength. But later in life, the same person may struggle to say, "I disagree," or "No, that doesn't work for me." Keeping the peace can eventually come at the expense of having a voice. This is why, from a systemic perspective, family roles aren't necessarily good or bad. Very often, they are adaptations. They helped us function within the systems in which we grew up. The important question is, does the role still serve me today? Because something that was useful in one environment can become restrictive in another. The achiever may become successful and disciplined, but struggle to rest because achievement has become connected to their worth. The strong one may become highly capable, but find asking for help almost impossible. The peacemaker may become sensitive and caring, but constantly put other people's needs ahead of their own. And when we try to change these roles, something interesting can happen. The strong person asks for help. The peacemaker starts saying no. The responsible sibling stops solving everyone's problems. And people say, "You have changed." That's because roles don't exist in isolation. They exist within relationships. When one person changes their familiar position, everyone else in the system has to adjust. And this connects directly to our previous conversation about boundaries. Sometimes setting a boundary feels uncomfortable, not because the boundary is wrong, but because we are stepping outside a role we have occupied for many years. So perhaps the goal isn't to reject the roles we have learned. Many of them gave us strengths that we still value. The goal is to develop a choice, to be able to say, "I can be strong, but I can also ask for help. I value harmony, but I can still disagree. I can achieve, but I don't have to prove my worth through achievement." Our roles can be part of who we are without becoming the whole of who we are. So I'd like to leave you with two questions. What role did you learn to play in your family? And are you still playing that role today, even in places where you no longer need to? Don't blame the past. Become curious about the pattern.